Manchester City have just beat Southampton 2-1, and it was tiring, it was awful, it was like pulling teeth, but we deserved it, and it feels absolutely huge, especially considering that Liverpool have just scraped a victory against Aston Villa. They are relentless, and thankfully we've got a very, very big 3 points. But don't forget, go and download One Football. It's really good. It shows you all the stats, and City did dominate Southampton, genuinely battered him, even if it wasn't through ingenuity. We really, really put the pressure on him, and One Football stats and all the updates show that. So go and download it in the link in the description, because it's free, it's excellent. So what are you waiting for? But that game, I'm tired. My voice is gone from watching that. It's exhausting. It's knackering. But we've got a victory when it most mattered. These games are important that you just find a way to win. And we've done that today. I am a little bit disappointed, obviously, because it felt like we were about to close on Liverpool a little bit. And they've obviously got that last minute winner. But before that, my elation when Kyle Walker put the ball in the back of it was absolutely huge. I'm delighted. Sometimes you do have to win ugly. And sometimes as well, winning 2-1 like this is better than winning 3-0. Now, if you win 3-0, you know with half an hour left that you're going to win because you're 3-0 up or 2-0 up or whatever, and you're strolling. You go back into the dressing room, you're like, well done, lads, job done, all that kind of stuff. And you're kind of happy and all that kind of stuff, but you're not delighted at any point because it just kind of feels like, all right, job done, go home, put the kettle on, whatever, put your feet up, relax, watch match of the day. A game like this, with a winner like that, when you see the celebrations, the hype and the relief, and the players don't know what's going on in Liverpool. They probably didn't care what happened to Liverpool. They just wanted to get that victory today. When you see that celebration, it means so much more. You get so much out of a game like that. I can guarantee now the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, it'll be absolutely huge. It'll be huge in that dressing room now. They'll be delighted, they'll be singing, they'll be relieved, because sometimes you have to win ugly. And for it to come from someone like Kyle Walker, they'll be delighted for their teammate. He had an excellent game today. He got the winner. He probably deserved it for his effort throughout the game, the assist, and then being the first to react to that cross. He'll be absolutely delighted in the dressing room. Everyone will be bouncing about for him. And we deserved it. I know we become cross-Chester City, let's be honest. We were crossing the ball constantly, and Aguero's goal was our 50th cross. I have no idea how many crosses went in before we got Walker's goal. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you can't be at scintillating best. Sometimes you've got to win ugly. And this reminds me of a lot of games where Sterling pulled the winner out as last minute. I remember one was 2-1. Was it against Southampton as well? It might have been. I can't remember. Where we won ugly. And that's all that matters, that you get those 3 points, especially given the fact that Liverpool keep doing the same. Now, we're going to have to beat Liverpool next week, of course, but we're given a chance to at least make that matter now. I'll go through the game a little bit in general. The team was kind of interesting. Angelino started, which no one expected really, if we're being honest. Mendy was on the bench with Fernandinho and Stones in the middle, with Kyle Walker in at right back, and thankfully that was a good decision. Ederson was in goal, of course, in Gundogan, De Bruyne, and David Silva in midfield, with Bernardo taking the place of Mahrez, and then Sterling and Aguero. The game just started normally. We went through the motions a little bit, and then an uncharacteristic Ederson error really gave Southampton the lead. Ward-Prowse reacted first to a spill from Ederson, and he kind of was a bit naffy in the way he closed the ball down as well. And they kind of, they took the lead essentially. I wouldn't say it was deserved, but we only had ourselves to blame for the mistake. And after that, we kind of toiled, and we didn't really create any chances. It was a bit worrying because we kept resorting to crossing. And I don't mind a cross genuinely, because some of Man City's best goals have come from crosses. It's just when they're actually aimed across the floor or something like that, or into someone. But these were just hopeful pings. And the first half just kind of went past, and eventually we just kind of, we wound down to the end of the first half. And that was it. Second half, we saw Gabriel Jesus come on. We went 40 forward, David Silva coming off, maybe for an injury. But we kind of just about went for it. But the kind of the same kept happening. Sterling got into a good position at one point. Should have played it to Angelino. He didn't. Finally, a cross did connect in the 66th minute. Aguero headed wide from 8 yards. And we still hadn't registered a shot on goal at that point until the 71st minute, when Aguero swept home Kyle Walker's, the 50th cross of the game, Kyle Walker's cross, and our first shot on target and a goal. It was deserved, if we're being honest. Even though we weren't playing great, we were battering them. And then finally, obviously, we had quite a few little moments, all this kind of stuff, an indirect free kick, and a few little kind of moments before eventually the goal came. And Angelino did really well to get on the end of a Phil Foden pass and whip the crossover. McCarthy couldn't gather it, and Walker reacted first and put it in. Cue pandemonium. Oh, I screamed a lot. My voice is actually hurting because of it. And Walker deserved that. He was excellent. He genuinely was good. The players went crazy. There was huge celebrations, absolutely loads of scenes, and the players going crazy. And then we held out in a breathless last 5 minutes. Honestly, it was chaotic. Southampton went forward. Sterling tried tracked back really well. We missed a couple of sitters. Sterling 1-2, had a 2-on-1, with Jesus. Neither of them kind of covered themselves in glory with a movement there. Then at the end, Gabriel Jesus missed a sitter after De Bruyne set him up. But we held out. And the players were delighted, and I'm delighted. It was a weird game of football. A game of football that we just had to find a way to win. As I said before, I don't give a shit that we win beautifully all the time. Sometimes you just got to kind of get the job done. Individually, Ederson will be gutted because he's been absolutely fantastic recently. And his performance, sadly, even though he had nothing to do in terms of saving shots, the one he had to make, I mean, it was slippy out there at the surface and it was rainy, but he did mess up big time. Kyle Walker, fair play to the lad. His work rate and his endeavour all day, the assist and then the goal. He deserved a big moment given like his recent... He's had it tough recently, being dropped by England, obviously being dropped for Cancelo a little bit. Kyle's a good lad and a good player. And I'm so happy that he had this day where he was the hero, because players like him sometimes deserve that. They deserve the chance in the spotlight, and he earned it by his endeavour and his work rate. He actually earned that chance today to become the hero, and he took it. Fair play to him. Defensively, we had very little to do. You could say that maybe the defence didn't react very well to the spill from Ederson, but I think James Ward-Prowse had the momentum there. He was going to get to it first either way. Stones and Fernandinho kind of strolled it. We had very little defending to do, and Stones, I thought it was okay. I thought he looked okay in general. Angelino, I think he had an okay game. He crossed it a lot. I'm not going to deny it. But finally, obviously, he got the assist for Kyle Walker. He crossed it maybe a bit too much, but I'm not sure how much that was directive and how much that was his overall game. But his energy and his work rate was good down the left, and I don't think he looked any worse than Zinchenko and Mendy have recently, and deserves another game, in my humble opinion. I don't think it'll be against Liverpool, but yes, maybe against Atalanta. Gundogan kind of like dictated a little bit, but wasn't really that effective, in my humble opinion. I thought De Bruyne was quiet as well. De Bruyne, sometimes you expect big things from him, and he couldn't quite do it today. And likewise, David Silva had a very quiet first half. Bernardo as well, I thought was pretty quiet. He created a couple of chances, which was inevitable given the amount of times he was crossing the ball. But he's not quite right. Nor is De Bruyne, in my humble opinion, at the moment. And it was just one of those days. Sterling had a bit of a mare until towards the end, really. Fair play to him. There was little moments where at least he showed his work in his eye, and the one bit of tracking back at the end was huge. And Aguero had absolutely next to no service throughout the game, but finally he showed how good a player is if you give him the ball with his strike. His one strike and goal on target even, and he scored that. Obviously he missed a sitter at one point with a header, but you need to give him chances. Gabriel Jesus came on, he played as a second striker, basically, went 4-2-4. I 100% admire his work rate. Bloody hell, he closed down loads. He was running all day, and you got to admire that intensity that he brings to the team, leading from the front. He should have scored at the end, but I can only admire his effort and his work rate. And I thought Phil Foden looked good when he came on as well. He added a bit of spark, and obviously linked up with Angelino, which led to the cross and then the goal. Good to see him get more minutes, but it wasn't a game where anyone really stood out, apart from maybe Walker or something like that. It was a game where everyone was not at the very creative best. A game where everyone looked a little bit jaded, but you can't deny their effort. You can't deny the fact that they really, really wanted to win this game. They worked really hard. They won the ball back. They harried. They pressed consistently. They're just lacking a little bit of creativity, maybe a little bit of spark, but that sometimes can happen, especially on a cold winter's night, which it was today. Well, cold winter's day. I know it feels like night because it's pitch black outside already. Sometimes you've got to just find an ugly way to win. Liverpool did it today as well, and there's no shame in that. I am gutted, as I said earlier, that Liverpool found a way to get back into this game. They are relentless at the moment, and I'm sure they'll do something stupid with their fans and tack our bus or something like that when we turn up at Anfield, something crass anyway, and they'll probably pretend it's not bad. It is bad. Don't go smashing up team buses. It's ridiculous and childish, and I know not every Liverpool fan is like that, but don't do it. Liverpool fans, if you're watching this, you're being a bellend if you do that. Don't do it. It's not funny. But I'm sure that game next week is going to be huge, and now we've obviously kept up there. If we hadn't won this today, we would have been behind them by 8 points again, I think, and that would have been... It wouldn't have been good going to Anfield. Now, hopefully, we can go there and we can actually get something there. If we can, massive, absolutely massive. If we beat Liverpool at Anfield next week, which is unlikely, admittedly, because it is, I think we'll win the league at that point. Guys, that was a big game of football. I'm genuinely killing. My throat is absolutely killing. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me about 4 attempts to start this video because I couldn't think of the words to describe it. It was just a mad game of football. We are now cross Chester City. We cross absolutely loads for whatever reason, but sometimes, if you've got no ideas, just whip it in and see what happens. I do wish that we had Edin Dzeko or someone like that on Negredo around. Get Haaland in. Get Haaland, that robotic android beast of a forward, and he'll get on the end of those crosses and score goals for you. We need someone like that if we're going to do it. But for now, though, we've won. We won. It wasn't beautiful. It was ugly. It was scrappy. It was messy in the end. I wish it was a bit more messy, actually, as in Lionel. But we did enough. We did enough. Guys, let me know what you made of the game in the comments below. Let me know who your standouts were and the formation, what you thought of it, and what's going on at Manchester City, because it was a weird game of football and all that kind of stuff. Let me know your thoughts on next week as well. Subscribe, comment, like. Go down on OneFootball, and I'll see you tomorrow.